Hey, in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 different ways that you can make money in property without actually having cash to invest yourself. And all of these strategies are strategies that I've done since I started back in property 8 years ago and still do to this day. So, number 1, let's dive in, is deal sourcing. It's one of the very best strategies to get started in property, to really grasp how to find, analyze, and negotiate on property deals. And really, when you can absolutely nail the fundamentals around deal sourcing, it covers 80% of what you need skill set wise to be able to go and buy your own deals when you're ready to do so. Now, a deal sourcer is effectively a broker. You find the deal, you find the buyer, and you get paid a fee for that service. The typical kind of sourcing fee for a vanilla buy, refurbish, refinance deal is around £4,000 at the minute. We charge that, and many of our coaching clients charge that. And often, the actual amount of time you spend on one deal from start to finish in terms of finding it, negotiating on it, securing it, and then selling it on to an investor can be as little as a couple of hours. So not a bad hourly rate when you calculate the kind of return on your time spent there. Now, if you haven't already, go back and watch my previous video on YouTube here, which is titled How I Made £9,000 from my very first sourced deal. There's some juice in there in terms of the actual behind the scenes with finding the deal and how it actually turned out. Now, number 2 is project management. Now, this can be a really good additional service that you can offer on top of your deal sourcing service, or just as a standalone service on its own. And this can be particularly great if you're a tradesperson at the minute and you're looking to get involved in other projects and make extra money on top of your trade through property. And you can make cash from doing the actual work here in terms of, let's say, if you're a joiner, get paid the joinery fee as normal, but also for making extra cash by project management of the refurb, organising materials, organising the other trades, and running the full job, which can be absolutely ace. So the typical going rate for a project management fee is 10% of the total refurb cost. So, for example, on a 15 grand refurb, your fee on top of your joinery aspect, if you're a joiner watching this, could be another 1,500 quid. So you could potentially make 3 grand from the joinery work there, plus an additional 1,500 quid. And if you bolt on the fact, if you maybe source the deal, that could be another £4,000. So if you're a joiner just now or a tradesperson just now, from that one source deal plus the bolt on of the project management fee, you can make anything between sort of £7,000 to £9,000 depending on the project, even plus on that. Numero 3, referral system. So this can be another great way to generate some cash, also by doing very little work. And there's a couple of different ways to do so. The first one is through your refurb team or referring on to a project manager. So all you simply have to do here is pass on a potential refurb to a project manager, say, to a suitable person to make a referral fee for doing so. Now, the largest referral fee I have made by doing this is £1,000. And it was for a full house renovation that I didn't really have capacity to take on myself. I was still working full time at that stage. I was still managing my own project at that stage, but I had another kind of lead come through asking for project management. And I said, look, I can't do it. I can pass you on to a guy who can. And basically how I structured it was, right, if you give them a price, add on 1,000 quid for me. Perfect. Worked for them, worked for the client, that came into their budget, worked for me. Everyone was happy. Now, the key thing with this is partnering with people who will be willing to work with you on that type of arrangement. It could literally be a 250 quid set fee. It could be 500 quid of a set fee that you decide on. That is completely up to you and how you can partner up with someone. Another referral route is going to auction companies. So many auction companies have a referral system where they get paid if you bring them, where you get paid, if you bring them a potential seller and that property then sells via their auction route. Now, many auction companies offer a 1,500 quid minimum of a fee, and all you literally have to do is pass on the property address and the contact details of the seller, and the auction company will take everything from that point forward. So they'll educate them on the process, they will sign them up as a client, and they will advertise and list their property to get it sold eventually, which is absolutely ace. Another referral option here is referring on to another deal sourcer. So maybe you're not even currently deal sourcing, but you've got an off-market lead. Auction could be a route, or this one is going to other deal sources. So very similar arrangement to that just mentioned about the auction referral, but instead of dealing with an auction company, you're actually dealing with another reputable sourcer. And there's many sourcers out there who will pay you between £1,000 to £1,500 typically per lead. And again, same process. Bring them the lead, bring them the address, bring them the contact details, and they will take everything forward from that point. If they do a deal, whether they source that on or whatever they want to do in the back end of it, they'll pay you handsomely for that on the back end. Number 4, joint venture. Now, you may be thinking, joint venture? Who would want to partner up with me? Maybe you don't have credibility yet. But let's say on the flip of that you have sourced a couple of deals and you've really dialed in the process on how to find and secure profitable deals. Well, instead of continuing to source them on, you could try to find a partner to collaborate with you on your next project, or where you bring the deal, they bring the finance, for instance, and you can work out a suitable profit split on the back end, or even build a portfolio together through that means. I've been involved in a number of different joint ventures with different structures, from buy to flip projects, from buy to hold strategies, and there are a lot of different ways actually that you can structure joint ventures. It could be 50-50 split, it could be different roles, it could be the same roles, it could be a 60-40 split. It all depends on who brings what to the table and who's going to be involved in the day-to-day or certain aspects of those projects or business that you're going to be involved in. And finally, number 5 is raising private finance. So by raising private finance, this can really be one of the best ways to unlock new opportunities for you. And also, a private investor, you may be thinking, has to be a multimillionaire, a Dragon's Den style type person. That's not the case. It absolutely is not the case. I've only got a handful of private investors. The key thing is to try and find investors that are going to be repeating clients, repeat investors, and being it long term with you. And they don't have to be multimillionaires, like I said. And often it's people close to you. It could be family, friends, colleagues, ex-colleagues, for example, who have a bit of cash and are looking to deploy their funds into an investment or diversify if they're currently investing in other things. And I like to offer private investors the chance to invest into my projects for a fixed return over a minimum 12-month period, and giving them a return of anything between 8 and 10% per annum, depending on the investment amount and also the kind of terms around the negotiation on what we agree there. It can be a win-win for you and for the investor, because the investor then gets to partner up with you on your projects, leaning into your experience for a set return, and it really unlocks potentially bigger projects, or the ability for you to continue scaling your property business if you've perhaps run out of funds on your own, or currently don't have funds, which is 5 ways to get involved in property without having the cash. So there's 5 different ways and ideas that maybe you could go out and do them all, or likes of myself, it was deal sourcing for a year and a half to really build up my confidence, credibility, and know-how about how to go about finding profitable deals, and then attracting private finance to then start scaling my own business while also pumping my own money into it. So you can do all of these at one go, you can do some of them, and fundamentally, it's picking the right path for you. So, hope you enjoyed that. See if you can take anything away from it.